People, welcome to another episode to the nameless channel until we find a perfect name that can depict the direction of which we want this channel to go. Up until then, we will just remain whatever goes with the flow, right? In today's topic, we want to discuss black politicians and the disgrace that they are in South Africa, to South Africans, and on the global stage. Let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, we family, right? Holla. People, this video is dedicated to black politicians. And disclaimer, in this context, when I say black politicians, I am referring to colored politicians as well. Because these two groups of people have a history of being uncanny, cunning, divisive, unruly, untruthful, deceitful, and fraudulent. You see, let me start with the biggest of the lot. So, because obviously the black politicians are the majority, we definitely have to start with them because they make up the bulk of the politicians in South Africa. And that's a fact. So, it's well documented and we cannot deny that, right? So, there are good politicians. There are people who are dedicated to making South Africa a better place for all. But the good voices are always drowned by the bad voices. And the bad voices seem to outnumber the good voices. And the bad voices seem to belong to a group, a cartel, a cabal of sorts that actually outmaneuver the good voices. So if you do know of a good voice, kudos to you. And if there is a good voice, kudos to you. Keep doing the good work that you are doing. Keep fighting the good fight for South Africans, for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for everybody, right? This video is primarily aimed at the bad apples in the political sphere. Now, where do we start? If you are a bad politician, if you went into politics because you wanted to enrich yourself, you wanted to make money, you wanted to have a business, you wanted to be associated with different businesses and be on different boards. So all you just did is to get into politics to enrich yourself at the expense of the broader South Africa. Now, let's start at the base, at the beginning. How is it possible that you, as a black politician, think that you can get into politics, into power, to make life better for everybody in South Africa, and yet you are failing to make life better for the people in the region or the village or the township or the suburb where you come from? Like, if we look at most villages where these black politicians are from, most of them are impoverished. If you look at most of the townships where these politicians come from, those places are impoverished. If you look at the suburbs some of these politicians come from, they probably decaying, right? I mean, let's just give an example. Let's just say we have a politician that's hailing from Hillbrow. Well, I was born in Hillbrow, or we moved to Hillbrow when I was young, so I'm a Hillbrow boy. So what does Hillbrow look like? Even though it's not a township, it's not a village, what does Hillbrow look like? You from there. What does it look like? Are you proud of where you're from? That's Hillbrow. I'm giving people If you come from Hillbrow, which is basically a part of town, you know what I'm saying? It's already built up. All you gotta do is just maintain clean. Even if you just can't do that in Hillbrow, what can you possibly do in a village, in a township, in an informal settlement? Understand what I'm saying? I know that we come from poverty. I get it. When you are a minister, an MEC, or whatever public position you hold, as a public servant, you are there to serve the people, including the place you are from. But if you do not have the pride to say, Mr. President, I know that what I'm going to ask you may seem like nepotism, but I would like to be in charge of cleaning up the place where I'm from. I may not be able to build clinics and schools and all that. The budget may not be there. But at least, can I please have just an extra X amount of cash just to put aside to give to the youth in my village, in my township, in my little space of town, so that they can keep it clean. That is all I ask. You see, money changes people. Power changes people. People always think about the people when they are with the people. The minute people are elevated, then all of a sudden, the people don't matter. Their culture doesn't matter. Their traditions don't matter. Now they want to hang in the big leagues. Now all of a sudden they're living in hotels. Now they're flying private jets. Now they're eating caviar. Now they're whining and dining in Paris, wherever that may be. We lose ourselves as soon as we come in contact with money. The close in proximity we are to money and power, the more we lose ourselves as a people. And this has been going on for generations. And that's the unfortunate part of everything because when you get to a certain level in life, you believe that you are better than those you were actually one with. That's the one part I honestly don't understand. Oh, why now, dog? Damn. People, the show must go on. We are one and always will be one. But for some strange reason, money and power changes people. Now, let's track back a little bit. Let's look where white people come from. White people come from suburbs. White people come from the farms. White people come from the city centers, like your Bay Parks, your former Hillbrows, your that, right? When they were in power, their places looked pristine. Damn. They were proud of where they were from. They took care of home ground, bro. White people always do that. They may not like each other. They may not want to help each other or see each other as brothers and sisters like how we black and colored people are. No, my bro, my brother, booty, my sister, my sister. White people are not like that. But when they were in power, white areas, white homes, white homesteads, white farms, white were well taken care of. People may argue with me and say, yeah, but there were only a few areas in this. People, do you know how many former white areas there are in South Africa? I can tell you now that the white areas outnumber the black areas by a distance, by a margin, by a dude. The whole of Khayelitsha, right? I'm telling the entirety of Khayelitsha can probably fit into a single farm or maybe two farms. Yeah? No? Yeah? Yeah? Don't believe? Maybe? Huh? Have you been to Stellenbosch? Have you seen the wine farms? Have you seen how big and how long they go as far as the horizon can see? So does Khayelitsha, right? Look how pristine those same acres are being looked after. And then look how Khayelitsha is being looked after. I always go back to this simple thing is if you go to the Eastern Cape, which is basically the home of the ANC, okay, I think now the base, yeah, at one point the Eastern Cape was the home base, strong base for the ANC. And it's said that the people that come, the politicians that come from the Eastern Cape, bro, bro, if you are an ANC politician, I want you to listen closely. You should be ashamed of yourself if you are a closer person, a closer politician, a closer ANC person, even a closer DA person, just the, just the way the Eastern Cape, just the just the mere fact that the Eastern Cape has been allowed to to degenerate into the mess that it is now. The mass exodus that we are seeing from neighboring countries into South Africa is what we are seeing from Eastern Cape into Western Cape. People, that is a sign of mismanagement, malfunction, disintegration, hopelessness, and just all round neglect of a regional or provincial economy. Now, if you're a black politician, specifically black politician, because we don't see white people from Eastern Cape coming up here in droves. We don't see colored people coming up here in droves. So that is what I'm saying to the black politicians. How do you, as a black politician, feel when you see your people leaving their homes, having to go and search for greener pastures in another province that you don't even control? And yet the one way you control, your people are leaving you, going to go and seek greener pastures in another province where you don't even control. As a black person, how do you feel? That's my question. Then ask yourself, why am I in this position? Why am I doing this job? Why? If my people are leaving, that means I'm not doing what I was supposed to be doing. So therefore, I should voluntarily resign and go and look for a job in the private sector. Maybe you'll be good at whatever you were doing at the factory before you got into politics. Maybe you'll be good at that retail space wherever you were working at. Maybe you're good in the mines. Maybe you're good as a garden boy. Who the freak knows what the freak you were doing before you got into that suit and into that office? For all we know, it was a comrade, buddy, what you call these, Helen Zeller has a specific thing, a name that she calls it. Um, cater deployment kind of story. Oh, because we were in the army together, we're in the bush together. Yeah, dude, being in the bush together is not the same as being in a provincial legislature. It's not the same thing. Bush and provincial legislature, it's not the same thing, bro. Not the same thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, guys, I just want to just say, colored as colored politicians, oh man, we also just don't fare too good in that space. I mean, I don't know when last a good colored politician ever did anything good for the colored people. I don't know. I mean, if we look at Alan Busak, for he served time for mismanagement of funds that were meant for I don't know, I think the poor or something to do with some American singer Paul Simon, I think he had donated some money, and well, Mpusa was supposed to disperse those funds to certain people, and he didn't, and he used those funds or something to that effect, But it's all in the public domain, and he served some time, and he was pardoned for it. Why would you do that? Why? You are in a more privileged position than the people whose money you are taking. Do you not have any shame on you? Then we go to Trevor Manuel, a respected, distinguished gentleman who goes and he buys himself, well, not for himself personally, but he was a minister at the time. He goes and buys himself like a 4 million rand Mercedes Benz or something like that, some crazy price. And when he was questioned by the journalist, what was his answer? Oh, it's not for me, it's for the people. Really? So are you telling me that if I needed a lift to go to Houtbaai, I could have just stopped by whatever government was, I think it was the finance minister at the time, pass by the finance minister's department, see the car there, tell the driver, hey, please take me to Houtbaai because he said it's for the people. Really now? Is that what it comes down to now? The shock, the horror, the just the gore, the guts, the 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 insanity, the bravery, just the brazenness of these politicians to just openly commit horrendous acts of fraud and mismanagement and whatever you want to call it. People, come on. We need to do better. So, as Black people, as colored people, I don't think that we have much of a choice to go off of. So, I am saying it's time we looked for new leadership in the younger generation. We start forming new political parties with new vision because these older people have had their time in the sun. They've eaten what they've eaten what they could eat. Now there's nothing left for them to do. They've run out of ideas. Now the only thing they have is to take and to loot as much as they can. Can you believe that since 1999, I think it was since the arms deal, right? Since 1999 to what, 2024, I think? 1 trillion rand has just vanished without a trace. No accountability. 1 trillion rand. And you want to tell me that there's no money for this and that. 1 trillion rand, 1 trillion rand gone. Every time I make videos, I always try to find the good, try to find the funny, I try to find the sunny side of Cape Town, the sunny side of South Africa, the sunny side of politics, the sunny side of business, the sunny side of everything. Ah, yeah, I'm telling you, the doom and the gloom is what dominates trust, and that has to come to an end at some point. And is and if you are a Black politician or a colored politician and you're listening to this, I hope someone who's watching this can share this video with some colored politician and some Black politicians and let them know that from the bottom of my heart, you should get out of politics. Get out, because you are not a servant of the people. You are self-serving. You self-loathing human being. People, let me know what you think about this video. Was I on the money or did I totally miss it for this one? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. We family, right? Holla.